The city rose from the waters like a vision, a metropolis of stone and gold, suspended on a vast lake, connected by mighty causeways. Tenochtitlan, the beating heart of the Aztec Empire, was unlike anything the world had seen. Towering temples reached for the heavens, markets bustled with traders carrying exotic treasures, and warriors in feathered armor guarded the land with unshaken resolve. But power breeds enemies, and prophecies can turn against those who believe in them. In the span of just a few years, this empire, one of the most advanced and feared in the Americas, would face a force it had never encountered before. Was it fate, deception, or betrayal that led to its downfall? And what truth lies beneath the blood-soaked altars and lost legends of the Aztecs? This is the story of a civilization that ruled with strength, fell with honor, and left behind mysteries that still haunt history. The Aztec story begins not with empire, but with exile. Around the early 13th century, a wandering tribe known as the Mexica, later called the Aztecs, roamed through the rugged landscapes of northern Mexico. Guided by their fierce patron god, Huitzilopochtli, they sought the prophesied land where they would build a mighty civilization. The prophecy was clear. They would find their home, where an eagle perched on a cactus, clutching a serpent in its beak. After years of hardship and migration, the Mexica stumbled upon a small, swampy island in Lake Texcoco. There, against all odds, they witnessed the foretold sign. In 1325, amidst the reeds and waters, they founded Tenochtitlan, a name that would soon echo through the valleys and mountains of Mesoamerica. From the humble beginnings of a swampy island settlement, the Aztecs turned their environment into an architectural marvel. They expanded their territory by constructing chinampas or floating gardens, which allowed them to farm fertile soil atop the water's surface. Ingenious aqueducts carried fresh water from distant springs, while broad causeways linked the city to the mainland, facilitating trade and movement. Tenochtitlan grew rapidly. By the mid-15th century, it was the center of an expansive empire. This wasn't just a city, it was the heart of a well-organized state. At its core stood the Templo Mayor, a towering pyramid dedicated to the gods Huitzilopochtli and Tlaloc, symbolizing the duality of their existence, war and agriculture, sun and rain. The Aztec society was structured with precision. At the top was the Tlatoani, the great speaker, a ruler chosen from noble lineage, wielding immense power. Beneath him were the nobles, priests, and military leaders who maintained order and religious rites. The commoners, though less privileged, played vital roles as farmers, artisans, and merchants, contributing to the city's vibrant economy. Trade was the empire's lifeblood. From the coastal regions came prized goods, tropical bird feathers, cacao, and cotton. Traders, known as Pochteca, traveled vast distances, bringing wealth and knowledge back to Tenochtitlan. At the bustling Tlatelolco market, goods from all corners of Mesoamerica could be found, from obsidian tools to elaborate textiles. The expansionist drive of the Aztecs wasn't just about wealth, it was about power. Through military campaigns and strategic alliances, they subjugated neighboring city-states. By demanding regular tributes, they ensured a steady flow of resources to fuel their metropolis and satisfy the gods. Yet this strategy sowed seeds of discontent among the conquered, as resentment towards their Aztec overlords grew. But it wasn't just political power that held the empire together. Religion was the glue of Aztec society. Their gods demanded blood, and the Aztecs obliged. Human sacrifices believed to ensure the sun's daily rise and the world's survival were a grim but central part of their rituals. The Templo Mayor, at the heart of Tenochtitlan, witnessed countless such ceremonies as priests, adorned in elaborate costumes, offered beating hearts to the gods. Despite their fierce reputation, the Aztecs were also people of remarkable intellect and artistry. They developed a complex calendar system, blending a 260-day ritual cycle with a 365-day agricultural calendar. Their pictorial writing, seen in codices, recorded everything from religious texts to imperial history, offering a glimpse into their worldview. By the early 16th century, Tenochtitlan was a city of over 200,000 inhabitants, one of the largest cities in the world at that time. Its grandeur, however, masked underlying vulnerabilities. The strict social hierarchy, dependence on tributes, and the constant need to appease their gods left the empire susceptible to internal strife and external threats. Little did the Aztecs know that their greatest threat was yet to come. Not from within Mesoamerica, but from across the vast ocean carried by sails and steel. At the heart of the Aztec Empire lay Tenochtitlan, a city unlike any other in the world. Built upon the waters of Lake Texcoco, it was a city of canals, marketplaces, towering temples, and bustling streets filled with merchants, nobles, and warriors. It was a place where order and hierarchy dictated every aspect of life, from the grand palaces of the elite to the busy workshops of artisans. Tenochtitlan was a marvel of urban planning. With its network of causeways connecting it to the mainland, aqueducts supplying fresh water, and chinampas ensuring food security, the city was a testament to Aztec ingenuity. The streets were clean, markets well regulated, and the public buildings were adorned with intricate carvings and vibrant murals depicting gods, warriors, and sacred symbols. The city was divided into 4 districts, each with its own marketplace and administrative center. At its heart stood the sacred precinct, home to the Templo Mayor, where priests conducted elaborate ceremonies to honor Huitzilopochtli and Tlaloc. This massive pyramid, painted in bright colors, was the spiritual and political nucleus of the empire. Life in Tenochtitlan was structured around social class. The nobility, known as pipiltin, lived in luxurious homes decorated with fine textiles and golden ornaments. They were the rulers, military commanders, and high priests who maintained order and ensured the empire's prosperity. Below them were the macaholtin, or commoners, who formed the backbone of society. Farmers, traders, artisans, and laborers, they lived in modest homes and worked tirelessly to sustain the city. Artisans crafted exquisite featherwork, pottery, and jewelry, while merchants traveled far and wide to bring valuable goods to the empire. The lowest social class consisted of slaves, or tlacotin. Unlike in many other societies, Aztec slavery was not hereditary. A slave could buy their freedom or earn it through service, and some even held respectable positions. Trade was the lifeblood of Tenochtitlan, and nowhere was this more evident than in the great market of Tlatelolco. Thousands of people gathered daily to buy and sell goods, from cacao beans and vanilla to jaguar pelts and obsidian blades. The market was strictly regulated, with officials ensuring fair trade and punishing those who attempted fraud. The Aztecs used cacao beans as currency, and bartering was the primary means of exchange. Goods were transported by canoe along the city's canals, which acted as highways, making trade efficient and organized. Religious ceremonies played a crucial role in Tenochtitlan's daily life. The gods were believed to require constant offerings, and the Templo Mayor was the center of these rituals. Human sacrifices were performed to ensure cosmic balance, with prisoners of war often chosen for this honor. Priests, seen as intermediaries between the gods and the people, conducted these rituals with precision. They wore elaborate headdresses, chanted prayers, and offered sacrifices of food, flowers, and incense before the ultimate act of human sacrifice. Tenochtitlan was more than just a city. It was the embodiment of Aztec power, culture, and belief. But even as it thrived, forces beyond its control were already conspiring to bring about its downfall. The Aztecs were not just builders and traders, they were warriors. Their empire was not forged through diplomacy alone, but through ruthless military conquests that expanded their influence across Mesoamerica. Unlike European empires that relied on standing armies, the Aztec military was a vast force, composed mainly of commoners who trained as warriors from a young age. For the Aztecs, warfare was not just about land or power, it was a sacred duty. Battles were waged not only to expand territory, but also to capture prisoners for sacrifice to the gods. The Aztecs believed that human sacrifice was necessary to sustain the universe, ensuring that the sun would continue to rise each day. Young boys were trained in combat at state-run schools, where they learned to use weapons like wooden clubs embedded with obsidian blades, spears, and bows. Every warrior aspired to capture prisoners, as taking captives was a path to social advancement. A common soldier who captured multiple prisoners could rise in rank, eventually earning the right to wear elaborate war costumes. Among the Aztecs, the most feared warriors belonged to elite military orders, the Jaguar warriors and the Eagle warriors. These groups were composed of battle-hardened fighters who had proven their skill and bravery. Jaguar warriors wore tunics made from actual jaguar pelts, symbolizing their ferocity in combat. Eagle warriors adorned themselves with feathered suits and helmets shaped like eagle heads, representing their keen vision and dominance. These warriors were the backbone of the Aztec military. They led attacks, inspired common soldiers, and took on the most dangerous missions. Their status granted them privileges, including fine food, luxurious homes, and the company of concubines. Despite these rewards, their lives were centered around the battlefield. By the late 15th century, the Aztecs had built an empire covering much of modern-day Mexico. Through the Triple Alliance with Texcoco and Tlacopan, they established a military and economic system that demanded heavy tributes from conquered regions. These tributes included maize, beans, gold, jade, textiles, and even human captives for sacrifice. However, while the Aztecs conquered many, they never fully integrated their subjects. Instead of assimilating them into their culture, they imposed tribute demands and left local rulers in place. This system bred resentment, and many subjugated peoples secretly longed for an opportunity to rise against their overlords. Not all battles ended in Aztec victory. In the West, the Tarascan Empire, based in present-day Michoacán, remained a formidable adversary. Unlike other Mesoamerican groups, the Tarascans developed metal weapons, including copper-tipped spears, which gave them a crucial advantage against the Aztecs' wooden and obsidian blades. In 1478, the Aztec ruler Axayacatl launched a massive invasion of Tarascan lands, expecting an easy victory. But the Tarascans were prepared. They ambushed the Aztec army with a force of over 40,000 warriors. The battle was a disaster for the Aztecs. More than half of their army was lost, and they were forced to retreat. From that point on, the Aztecs never attempted another full-scale attack on the Tarascans. Despite their military dominance, the Aztec Empire was fragile. They ruled through intimidation rather than integration, making enemies at every turn. Their relentless demand for human sacrifices and constant warfare created an empire held together by fear, a weakness that would later be exploited by outsiders. For over a century, the Aztecs stood undefeated, their armies sweeping across Mesoamerica, bringing city after city under their control. But an unforeseen enemy was approaching, one that fought not for land or tribute, but for total conquest. The next section will reveal how a small band of foreigners, armed with steel and deception, would bring an empire to its knees. For nearly 2 centuries, the Aztecs had ruled over a vast and wealthy empire, feared and respected by neighboring states. Their capital, Tenochtitlan, stood as an unassailable stronghold, until 1519, when an unexpected force arrived on the shores of their land. That year, Hernán Cortés, a Spanish conquistador leading an expedition, landed on the coast of present-day Mexico. With just a few hundred soldiers, he began a campaign that would forever change the course of history. The Aztec Emperor, Moctezuma II, had heard of the Spaniards long before they reached Tenochtitlan. Strange rumors of bearded men in metal armor, riding enormous beasts and wielding weapons that spat fire spread across the empire. Many believed these invaders might be connected to an ancient prophecy, the return of the feathered serpent god, Quetzalcoatl. Uncertain whether Cortés was a god or a mortal threat, Moctezuma chose diplomacy over war. He sent gifts of gold and lavished treasures to the Spanish, hoping to appease them. But the Spaniards had no intention of leaving. Gold only fueled their greed. In November 1519, Cortés and his men marched into Tenochtitlan, where they were welcomed as honored guests. They were astonished by the city's beauty, its gleaming temples, bustling markets, and intricate canal systems. But their admiration soon turned into ruthless ambition. Moctezuma allowed the Spaniards to stay within the royal palace, but this hospitality was a grave mistake. Cortés quickly realized the emperor's power was not absolute. Many of his subjects resented his rule. Sensing an opportunity, the Spaniards took Moctezuma hostage, using him as a puppet ruler while they looted the empire's wealth. Tensions reached a breaking point in May 1520, when Spanish forces, led by Cortés's lieutenant Pedro de Alvarado, massacred hundreds of unarmed Aztec nobles and priests during a religious festival at the Templo Mayor. This act of betrayal ignited an uprising. Enraged, the Aztecs rebelled. The streets of Tenochtitlan turned into battlegrounds, and soon Moctezuma himself was caught in the chaos. Some accounts suggest he was stoned to death by his own people, while others claim the Spanish killed him. Either way, his death marked the beginning of the empire's collapse. Realizing they could not hold the city, the Spaniards attempted to flee under the cover of darkness on June 30th, 1520, a night that would later be known as La Noche Triste, the Night of Sorrow. As they tried to escape across the causeways, thousands of Aztec warriors attacked. Many Spaniards drowned under the weight of stolen gold, while others were captured for sacrifice. Cortés, though badly wounded, managed to escape, but he was not finished. He would return with reinforcements and a strategy that the Aztecs could not withstand. Cortés regrouped and allied with the Tlaxcalans, sworn enemies of the Aztecs. By 1521, he launched a full-scale siege on Tenochtitlan. This time, the Spaniards had an invisible weapon, smallpox. The disease brought by the Europeans devastated the Aztec population, killing thousands and weakening their ability to resist. For 3 brutal months, the Aztecs fought to defend their city, but without food, clean water, or reinforcements, their resistance crumbled. On August 13, 1521, the last Aztec emperor, Cuauhtémoc, was captured, and Tenochtitlan fell. What had once been the greatest city in the Americas lay in ruins. The Aztec Empire was no more. Cortés and his men wasted no time in destroying Tenochtitlan, leveling temples and palaces to make way for a new Spanish capital, Mexico City. The gods of the Aztecs were banned, their traditions outlawed, and their people enslaved. Yet the Aztec spirit did not vanish. Their language, Nahuatl, is still spoken by millions in Mexico today. Their architectural ruins still stand beneath the streets of modern-day Mexico City. And the Mexican flag, with its emblem of an eagle perched on a cactus, serves as a reminder of the prophecy that led the Aztecs to glory. Though their empire fell, the legacy of the Aztecs endures. The fall of Tenochtitlan marked the end of the Aztec Empire, but it did not erase their influence. The echoes of their civilization still resonate in modern Mexico, shaping its culture, traditions, and national identity. Despite the brutal conquest, Aztec customs, language, and artistry survived the test of time. After the Spanish conquest, Hernán Cortés ordered the complete destruction of Tenochtitlan. Aztec temples and palaces were dismantled, their stones repurposed to build Mexico City, the new Spanish capital. The Templo Mayor, once the religious heart of the empire, was buried beneath colonial structures. For centuries, the ruins of Tenochtitlan remained hidden. But in 1978, electrical workers in Mexico City made a groundbreaking discovery. They unearthed a massive circular stone depicting Coyolxauhqui, the moon goddess. This led to the excavation of the Templo Mayor, revealing priceless artifacts and remnants of the once mighty city. Today, visitors can walk through these ruins, a tangible reminder that beneath the streets of Mexico's bustling capital lies the ancient heart of the Aztec world. The Aztecs may have lost their empire, but their culture lives on. One of the most striking examples is the Mexican flag, which prominently features an eagle perched on a cactus devouring a serpent, a direct reference to the Aztec legend of Tenochtitlan's founding. Their language, Nahuatl, is still spoken by over 1 million people in Mexico. Many words from Nahuatl have also made their way into Spanish and English, including chocolate, zocoatl, avocado, aguacatl, tomato, tomatl, and coyote, coyotl. Aztec traditions also influence Mexican festivals. The Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, a celebration honoring the deceased, has roots in Aztec rituals. The belief that death is part of a continuous cycle of life echoes the Aztec worldview of duality, where creation and destruction exist in harmony. Aztec craftsmanship continues to inspire artists and historians. Their stone carvings, turquoise mosaics, featherwork, and codices provide valuable insights into their daily life and beliefs. One of the most famous Aztec artifacts is the Sun Stone, Piedra del Sol, often mistakenly called the Aztec calendar. This massive stone, uncovered in 1790, is a stunning representation of the Aztec cosmic order, depicting the cycles of time and the gods who governed them. Today, Aztec-inspired designs appear in modern Mexican architecture, fashion, and even tattoos. Their artistic legacy is a testament to their deep understanding of symbolism and storytelling. The story of the Aztecs has fascinated historians, filmmakers, and writers for centuries. While early Spanish accounts portrayed them as ruthless barbarians obsessed with human sacrifice, modern research paints a more nuanced picture. One of a sophisticated, highly organized society that achieved remarkable advancements in agriculture, engineering, and astronomy. Their legacy is not just one of conquest and bloodshed, but of resilience, innovation, and cultural brilliance. The Aztec Empire may have fallen, but its spirit remains woven into the fabric of Mexico and beyond. From the Nahuatl words we use, to the ruins beneath Mexico City, to the traditions that define Mexican identity, the Aztecs continue to shape the world in ways they never could have imagined. Their empire may be gone, but their story is far from over.